Well, there is one remaining task with the hard dodger, which is to allow for an aft-facing slat in order to prevent rain or spray from coming down the companionway when the wind is from astern. I want this slat to be transparent, so I will use plexiglass for it. This is both to allow light in as well as to allow for visibility astern. So this effectively makes the Dodger a mini pilot house, which will be nice at sea, especially in colder climates. Originally I was going to put in slides, but then opted for simply lashing it with small ropes. And do something like that. And the top, I'll just make it over the top. The washboards come right up to here. So then I installed these little chocks here. So that it can be stowed inside the Dodger. Otherwise it's rather awkward and there's not a convenient place. I could put it in the cockpit lockers, but again, this should be a much more convenient way to stow it. So it is Friday the 27th of August, and we're looking to start our cruise of the Maine coast here. We got just a very light northwesterly wind, which will be on our stern, and about a half hour to high tide. So far this is just what the good doctor ordered. So we'll fire up the outboard in a few minutes and get going here. Question I frequently get in the comments is, if you don't have an engine, how do you know your anchor is set, since you can't back down on it? Well, one old technique for setting an anchor with only sails is known as a flying anchor set or sailing anchor set. And what you do is you approach your spot while sailing downwind, generally fairly slowly. I just lowered most of the mainsail here. You want to be just doing about 1.5 knots or 2 knots. And then once you're at your spot, you lower your anchor and pay out scope, and then make it fast. And you should hear and feel the anchor line take up with a big creak, and the boat suddenly spin up into the wind like she's doing now. And that's your assurance that the anchor is set. Well, the following morning dawns gray and cool, but there is a nice southerly wind. So I weigh anchor, and we get underway on our way to Booth Bay Harbor. But first we have to wend our way out through all these islands and ledges. It's the Morris 36 day sailor version. So nice to have the computer in the pilot house here. Easily accessible. So we're still winding and wiggling our way out. It's upwind, dead upwind to get out into open water. So the literal beauty of Maine, it's all these islands. There's plenty of anchorages. Of course, the downside of that is when you're trying to travel somewhere, that you spend quite a bit of time working your way all the way out into open water. Hopefully we finally got this all clear here. Current has turned against us. Try to get a little more drive on her here. She's struggling to get headway. You know, the hobby horsing is killing her, as always. Ahoy, everybody! Long time no see. It is Sunday, the 29th of August, 2021, and we are out sailing the rocky coast of Maine. Trying not to hit any of those rocks. So the plan today is, last night I anchored in just a little cove right behind Great Shebag. Mainly to avoid the weekend boat traffic in Potts Harbor. I was anchored off the Dolphin Marina there, which is a nice spot, but the weekend boat traffic was kind of reminiscent of Miami. So I took a short jaunt over and anchored behind Great Shebag, where it was a little quieter. So this morning, weighed anchor around 8:30 or so. Had favorable current, but east to southeast winds, so we had to tack all the way out, and that basically took all morning till noon. However, the current turned against us at 10:30, so it's a little after 1 now. So we've been fighting contrary current for 2.5 hours. So that's all to say that the plan to sail to Booth Bay today has just got scuttled. We still got almost 20 miles to go. These winds are coming a little more southerly, which is favorable, but it's slow, and they are building in strength, but it's still, it's just not going to be enough to get us there before nightfall. So I think the plan is we're going to sail through the islands here, which is always fun. Just watch your navigational P's and Q's and try to get into the basin on the New Meadows River. That's always a really nice spot. So that's the plan right now. We got our snout pointed straight toward Ragged Island, and as I said, we got to watch our navigational P's and Q's out here, because there's a lot of little things to hit, and they're not soft. So anyway, yeah, long time no see, at least out sailing. I've been building this Dodger. I posted a couple videos on that. And I've also been helping out at home, mainly helping out my dad, who's taking care of my mom. I was hesitant to make this public, but she does have dementia. So he has to take care of her and cook and do housework and all that. So I helped out with some of the cooking and also projects around the house. So that's what I've been. So that's partly what I've been up to, besides building the Dodger. So on this short cruise of Maine, I'm going to hit some of the spots that were favorites of my parents. Dad sold the boat a couple of years ago, so he doesn't sail anymore. And obviously, with having to care for Mom, he can't, caring for her and the boat at the same time is too much. So I'm going to revisit some of their favorite spots here, and places I haven't been in years and years. So that's the general plan here. I was going to start at Booth Bay and work my way back toward either Potts Harbor or Quahog Bay, but maybe we're going to run it in reverse. We really just have to play the conditions out here because tidal currents are generally in the 1 to 2 knot range, and in the wind around the coast of Maine tends to be quite fickle. So you can't, in an engineless boat, you can't have very ambitious plans. So anyway, so hopefully we'll make it to the basin today. I remember that's always a fun spot. So we'll see how that goes. And we'll talk to y'all again later. So we're coming up right on starboard. Here is Two Bush Island and then Elm Island. Just past it, islands, plural. So there's several of them. We're gonna hang a right at that red nun. You can see it right through the pin rail there. Hang a right and head over to the entrance of the New Meadows River. And then we head up the New Meadows River to the basin. So that's the plan. Well, there's a narrow winding entrance that leads into the basin, and I didn't put that outboard bracket on for nothing, so I got the outboard cranked up, and as I feared, the south wind is funneling out through this entrance, so we're almost dead on the wind. So I'm kind of motor sailing, tacking back and forth, because I'm not sure whether that 3.5 horse is going to be able to get against it. Seems to be doing okay. Oh, come on, baby, almost there. We do have almost 2 knots of favorable flooding current helping us out too, so we're moving through here at a good clip. Useful as that motor is, it's always nice to turn it off nonetheless. I feel like I'm in the library here. I just want to whisper in a low voice. Everything's so quiet. I can understand why the basin is a popular spot. There's plenty of room to anchor and just beautiful surroundings. Well, we had to disrupt the piece here to get out of here. It's just kind of light, fluky winds on the nose. But we got the current helping us along. So we should be able just to flush right out. Often I try to take the lazy man's route and just sail her under main and staysail. And often I end up having to go out on the bowsprit while underway to rig the jib, because she just doesn't have enough driving power as it is in these light winds. But such is a sailor's life. actually a yawl. Once out around Cape Small, we hang on to light southerly winds, but at least they're a little more steady out here. And conditions are cool and pleasant here on the coast of Maine, unlike much of the rest of the United States, which is in the grip of sweltering heat. Well, we're getting to the end of the day here, and those are the cuckolds, the lighthouse, and we're coming in very slowly into Booth Bay, just light, just cat's paws of wind at this point, and I see a few more cat's paws. And when we get into a little flatter conditions, we can use the outboard if it goes dead on us here. So it looks like we're gonna get a little bit of breeze here, and we got about 4 miles left to go. So we got some distance, but not terrible. And it does look like we're gonna pick up a little bit of wind up here, so that's good. And oh, yeah, we're still not quite in flat water here. And that's Damariscotta Island right there, and there's a little anchorage you can go in there. But we got strong winds coming tomorrow, so I want to get a little better tucked in here. And so we're going to shoot for Lewis Cove, which is just on the east side of Booth Bay. It's in Linaken Bay. So we'll try to get in there, hopefully before dark.